Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Lunch? You had your lunch? No. Yes or no?
No, ma'am. No.
More periods today?
Yes, ma'am.
Soon after this period?
No, there's a break.
Okay, then you can have lunch at that time. Hope you are not feeling hungry. Previous period, we were discussing about the characteristic features, some vegetative features of Solanaceae. We discussed about stem and leaf. So there you had some confusion. So there, 2 points, what I said, I'll repeat, and I have collected a few samples. I'll show you that and then I'll continue. So we told about, when we discussed about the leaves, I told it can be either alternate or opposite. It is alternate in Solanaceae. So I told it can be alternate, opposite, or whorl. There are different types of arrangement of leaves. These points were in the first part of this chapter, which CBSE deleted this year. Anyway, here you can see, hope you can see, no? You all can see? Yes. So this is opposite arrangement. See, just against, opposite they are arranged. Okay? Is it clear? This type of arrangement is known as opposite arrangement of leaves. Leaves are arranged opposite to each other. At the same time, we have alternate arrangement. In Solanaceae, it is shown, the leaves are showing alternate arrangement. Alternate arrangement means, here it is not very clear, but I couldn't get a bigger piece of this. See here, this is alternatively arranged. See, from here, one, then from the next node, from here again, from the next node. Have you seen? Are you able to make out?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it focusing? You can see clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So it is alternately arranged. From the same node. Node is a point from where, point on the stem, from where a branch or a flower originates. So when only one leaf is arising from the node, it is known as alternate arrangement. See, alternatively, one from each node. When two are arising from the same node, you call it as opposite arrangement. When more than two leaves are there, you call it as whorled arrangement. Phyllotaxy is the term. So you will learn later. Whorled, W-H-O-R-L-E-D, whorled arrangement. So here in Solanaceae, it is alternate arrangement. Okay. Then we also discussed about the type of leaves. And I told you that the leaves can be either simple or compound. When compound, it can be pinnately compound. And I gave you the definition also. I'll repeat it again. Simple leaf means, this is an example for a simple leaf. Or this is another example for a simple leaf. This is the stalk or the petiole. Hope you can see. So this is the petiole and this is the leaf. This part of the leaf, this part, you call it as lamina. This part is known as lamina. This is its stalk or petiole. Okay. Stalk of the flower is pedicel. Hope you are remembering. Stalk of the leaf, petiole. P-E-T-I-O-L-E. So this is the leaf and this part is known as lamina. When the lamina is entire, it is complete. So no incisions, no cuttings over there. Such a leaf is known as simple leaf. And when incisions are there, sometimes there will be incisions, but these incisions do not reach up to the midrib. So sometimes here you cannot find any incisions or cuttings on the edges. In hibiscus leaf, if you recollect the shape of a hibiscus leaf, you can see the edges are little pointed. Some design is there, but those will never touch the midrib. This is the midrib or the midvein. Passing through the center, these are its branches, side veins. But either the leaf will be entire, and when incisions are present, they will not touch the midrib. They will be only on the sides. They will not reach and touch the midrib. Such a leaf is known as simple leaf. A leaf is said to be simple when the lamina is entire, and when incisions are present, they will not touch the midrib. Such a leaf is known as simple leaf. These two are examples for simple leaf. Now coming to compound leaf. In compound leaf, the incisions, hope you are following what is meant by incision, some cuttings or some markings. So these incisions or cuts will reach up to the midrib. In simple leaf, the lamina Lamina you understood. Leaf, blade or lamina is this part. Lamina is entire, and when incisions are present, they will not reach up to the midrib. Such a leaf is simple. Okay. But in compound leaf, the incisions will reach up to the midrib, breaking the leaf into leaflets, small leaves. See, I told you the example of rose leaf.
Ma'am, Sani is in waiting room.
Okay, see this leaf. This is the leaf of rose. Usually you think this is one leaf. It's not like that. All these 7 leaves together, 7 leaflets together make one rose leaf. These were actually incisions, and the incisions reach, this is a midrib. You even call it as rachis. You don't have to learn the details, but when I'm giving the terms compound leaf, simple leaf, you should have an idea what it is. Okay, this part passing through the center, that is actually the midvein. Okay, or we even call it as rachis, R-A-C-H-I-S, rachis or midrib. All these are the leaflets, 7 leaflets you can find. This together make, this is one leaf. It's an example for a compound leaf. Incisions are there, and those incisions will reach up to the midrib, breaking the leaf into leaflets. Any idea? Clear? Okay. And in leaf itself, in compound leaf itself, there are 2 types. Pinnately compound and palmately compound. I'll write on the board, but before that I want to show you this. Pinnately and palmately compound. This one is pinnately compound. Means there will be a main axis and leaflets are arranged on the main axis. The main axis, leaflets are arranged on the main axis, and you call it as pinnately compound. Now the next one is palmately compound. I didn't get a sample. I'll try. If I get, I'll bring. Silk cotton is an example. And the leaf will have the appearance of the palm. Okay, that is why you call it as palmately compound. And just imagine these are the 5 leaflets. And all these leaflets will be joining at a common point. All will come and merge or join at a common point, giving it the appearance of a palm. So such a compound leaf is known as palmately compound leaf. And this one is pinnately compound leaf. So once again, I will summarize what I said. Leaves can be either simple or compound. Simple leaf means the lamina will be entire, and even if incisions are present, they will not reach up to the midrib. Okay? Hibiscus leaf is an example for simple leaf. And at the same time, in a compound leaf, the incisions present will reach up to the midrib, breaking the leaf into small leaflets. Such a leaf is compound leaf. And it can be 2 types, simple and, palmately compound and pinnately compound. When it is pinnately compound, the leaflets will be arranged on a common axis like this. This is pinnately compound. Then turmeric leaf is also pinnately compound. This is another example for pinnately compound leaf. Whereas in palmately compound, all the leaflets will come and join at a common point and giving it the appearance of a palm. So that is the difference between pinnately compound and palmately compound leaf. You don't have to learn it, but still when we mention the terms, I want you to have an idea about it. Okay? Some idea you got? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll see it once again, widely distributed in tropics, subtropics and in temperate zones. Then most of them are herbs and shrubs, and rarely some small trees can also be found. Stem is herbaceous. Very rarely they are woody. They are aerial, that means the plant is above the soil, erect, cylindrical, branched, solid or hollow. About the stem, all these are about the stem, erect stem. Aerial stem, okay. It is mentioned about the stem. It's aerial, above the soil. At the same time, in potato, it is underground stem. Storage of food takes place in underground stem, and that is a modification of the stem found in Solanum tuberosum or potato. Other than that, they are aerial, herbaceous, erect, cylindrical, branch, hairy, or glabrous. Glabrous means without hair. Then we moved on to leaves. Alternate. Now I think you are getting an idea what is meant by alternate arrangement. Leaf is simple and rarely it can be pinnately compound. Exstipulate. Exstipulate means stipules. Here I have given a picture. See on the right hand side. This is not the picture of a plant. That plant doesn't belong to Solanaceae. I just want to show you what are stipules. So what you see in the figure are stipules. This one or here the leaves are exstipulate means no stipules are present. Stipules are such leafy appendages present. Okay, leafy appendages present, and these are exstipulate. Exstipulate means okay, these are exstipulate. As I already told, exstipulate means absence of stipules. Stipules are absent and the figure is given there just to show you what are stipules. That plant doesn't belong to Solanaceae, just to make you understand. When you learn stipules are absent, you should know what are stipules. So for that, the picture is given. And Solanaceae, this family is without stipules, but what you see in the figure are stipules. They are leaf-like structures. You find them normally in pairs. These are leaf-like structures found in pairs at the base of the stalk of the leaf. At the leaf stalk, at the base of the leaf stalk, you can see some green color leafy structures, and its function is to protect the leaf when it is young. So it will protect the young leaf as well as buds. That is a function of stipules. I'll repeat once again. Stipules are leaf-like structures, usually in pairs, which are found at the base of the leaf stalk. Its function is to protect the young leaf or bud. Okay? And once later it can wither off also. It can get, once the leaf takes a full form or it completely unfolds, in some cases it can wither off also. And then venation is reticulate. I don't think you need any explanation for reticulate venation. You know that? Difference between parallel and reticulate venation? Is it clear or have you learned? You want me to? Any wants me to? Wait. See. So when the veins are forming a network with a midrib and so many branches of it and forming a network, you call it as reticulate venation. And on the other hand, when it's forming parallel or the veins are arranged parallel to each other, you call it as parallel venation. In cereals, in grass, in banana, plantain, no, in all that you can see parallel venation. If it is plantain, you can find parallel veins. Okay, so these are some examples. So reticulate means here the veins form a network. Parallel venation means the veins will be arranged parallel to one another. Then floral characters, coming to inflorescence, solitary, single. Then it can be axillary or cymose inflorescence. Already we learned about cymose and racemose inflorescence. Axillary, axil means the angle between the branch and the stem. 1 minute. See, this is known as an axil. This angle between the main stem and the branch, that is known as axil. So flower can arise from there. Then you call it as, if the flower is originating from the axil of the leaf, you call it as axillary. Then it can be even cymose inflorescence. Hope you are remembering the points we discussed about cymose inflorescence. Then they are bisexual. What is meant by bisexual? Both male and female parts are found in the same flower. Then actinomorphic means what type of symmetry?
Radial.
Radial symmetry. Okay, that was about the floral characters, inflorescence. Then coming to calyx. 5 sepals. Sepals are 5 in number, united. See there some pictures I've given. United, then persistent. These sepals are united and they are persistent, means like in brinjal and tomato.
Can you explain axial inflorescence?
I will tell you. They are united and they are persistent. See, in some of fruits like brinjal and tomato, you can find still, even after the fruit formation, the sepals continue. They are persistent. Normally, we say that once the ovary changes into fruit and ovule becomes a seed, remaining parts will wither off. But here, the sepals will persist even after the fruit formation. Then valvate estivation. So you know that here the appendages will be arranged in such a way that no overlapping, but they just touch each other. The margins just touch each other, but there will be no overlapping. Then corolla or the petals. Here 5 petals, just like sepals, 5 petals, and petals are united. They are fused, joined together. Valvate estivation. So in both sepals and petals, sepals and petals both are 5 in number, both are united, and both exhibit valvate estivation. And Sania, axillary flower means flower developed from the axil of a flower. Axil of a flower means axil is the angle between the stem and a branch. I showed you the picture, no? An angle will be formed between the main stem and the branch. That is known as axil. So when the flower is formed from the axil, there can be buds formed in the axil. You call it as axillary bud. So when a flower is formed from the axil of a plant, you call it as axillary flower. Is it clear, Sania? Sania?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
so cymos also means the same.
Cymos?
Cymos, what does it mean?
We had already learned about cymos and racemose inflorescence earlier.
Yes, ma'am, I got it.
Petal, younger flowers, older flowers. Don't you remember?
Yes, ma'am. Alright.
Next is about andrecium. Andrecium consists of stamens. Stamens are also 5 in number. Epipetalous. What is epipetalous, Nevin? What is meant by epipetalous? What do you mean by epipetalous? You are lucky. It's not a real classroom. Otherwise, I would have seen. How many times the same question I asked you? Huh? How many times?
Having a tough time.
Having
I'm having a tough time.
a tough time. You are living, what to say, in between. You are leaving your mind free. It is not focused or not concentrating. Epipetalous and epiphyllous. Wasn't that you? Weren't that you?
Okay, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Epiphyllous and in epiphyllous,
I didn't ask
the
you.
stigma is
Epipetalous stamen means what?
epipetalous stamen, what that means? It's connected to the parenthia.
What? It is connected to? In the term itself, the answer is there, dear. Read what is written on the board. Epipetalous. Stamens are attached to?
The petals.
My God. I am remembering how many times I asked, but you are not remembering the answer. Ganoecium. Bicarpellary means what?
They have 2 carpels.
Okay, good. Compensate for what you had the previous minute. Okay. Syncarpus means what? 2 carpels are there and those 2 carpels are fused together. Then superior ovary. What type of flower? Ovary superior means the flower is what type? Anybody. Based on the position of the ovary or the sex organ.
Might be in the top or something? Like top, superior.
But depending upon the position of the ovary, we categorize the flowers into 3.
Hypogynous.
Yes?
Hypogynous.
Gynous flower. Good. Ovary superior, that is hypogynous flower. Bilocular. Bilocular means the ovary is having two chambers, two locules. Placenta is swollen and it is having many ovules. Now, coming to the fruits, I think we'll not have time to proceed with the fruits. Should we see that? I think we'll not get time. Anyway, let the test be over. We can have it next class. So quickly we will see what all things are covered for your test. So widely distributed in tropics, subtropics, and even temperate zones. They are herbs, shrubs, some trees are also found. Stem is herbaceous, rarely it is woody. Stem is aerial. Normally it is above the soil, but at the same time we have the cases like potato where the underground stem gets filled with food, or it is food storage is there in the underground stem. Erect, cylindrical, branched, solid or hollow, hairy or glabrous. An underground stem in potato. Then we learned about the leaves, alternate, simple, rarely pinnately compound, exstipulate, venation, reticulate venation, inflorescence solitary, axillary or cymose, bisexual, actinomorphic. Then about calyx, 5 sepals which are united and which are persistent in the fruit, valvate estivation. Corolla, petals are 5, valvate estivation, they are also united. Then we learned about andrecium, 5 stamens, epipetalous, gynoecium, bicarpellary, 2 carpels, syncarpus, superior ovary, bilocular, placenta is swollen with many ovules. Okay, is it clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Have the test.
Yes, ma'am.
Doing. Five minutes enough, no? Only 10 questions. One word answer. And children, one more thing before sending. Since it is in one word, there is some problem. You just write, begin it with capital letters. Okay, otherwise it will be marked as wrong. All the answers start with capital letters, and if it is 2 words, like some answer, if it is 2 words, leave a space in between. Any doubt you can ask me. Please begin with capital letters, all the answers. When it is short answer, there are some limitations to give the key. Please do begin all the answers with capital. Why all the screens are off? All the videos are off? Why the videos are off?
Ma'am, video is not off. Mine.
Meenakshi, Michael, then Donna, Anthony, Anna, video is off. Nidhi. What is the reason? I'm repeating again. Begin with capital letters. Otherwise, it will be marked wrong. Okay, children, see you next class. The feedback for this one I'll give next class.